Morgan Jones's story has been directly mirroring the story of Rick Grimes.
I figure we should start that by having her live.
Any person here who would live in peace and fairness.
Anybody who's ready to abide by the laws and the foundations that we are laying down here.
Who would find common ground.
You are more than welcome to stay.
This world is yours, by right.
I hope today's the day when we can start doing that.
Go home!
And what happened to Rick shortly after he spared Negan? Well... I've wanted to make a video about this for a while now, but with just having Season 6 Episode 9 of Fear come out, we've just had the perfect example of just how much Morgan is reflecting and mirroring Rick's story. He always has, and I think he will continue to, which is a really important thing going forward. Morgan joined Fear and became the Rick of that show. They're at this dam now, and he's doing everything that Rick did in Season 9, or that we saw him do in the time jump before Season 9. Which was rebuild and become the leader of the communities. So now he's beat Virginia and spared her. He's doing the exact same thing that Rick did with Negan. Now, it doesn't matter what happened with Negan after that, what happened to Virginia after that, because of course, it wasn't good. They both made the same choice, and as Rick did with Alexandria, and as Morgan is doing right now at the dam, they're going to rebuild, and I think they're going to stay there for years to come. Rick did all of this, and years passed, and we saw how much progress he had made. Morgan has been and will be doing the same with the dam. I think at some point in Fear Season 6, there will be a time jump, one that gets it up to speed with The Walking Dead right now. In this video, I'm going to explain to you my theory, my prediction on how Season 6 will end, and how Morgan Jones will be taken by the CRM. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe so that you're the first to see my videos. And check out the Discord for all the latest. The other day I got a message from one of my viewers and it actually put together the theory really well. I've taught you well, my young Padawans. I'm fucking taking that out. But Anthony said, I have a theory that's probably really far but came to mind and sounded interesting. I looked at how Morgan's story is going and it's almost playing out like Rick's life when looking at what Rick did with Negan and how the whole fight ended. His speech, what world he wanted to create, how he didn't kill Negan. Morgan did the same with Ginny. And while Rick was trying to create this better world, the CRM took him. So my theory is, since Morgan is heading down this similar path as Rick, I think he'll be taken by the CRM too. And the Fearcast will see this and will go after them with an actual motive. I don't think the universe will meet up solely because of Rick. Us as viewers know him, but not everyone does. And I think all these shows are going to have their reasons for beating the CRM, and they will cross paths in the movies. The Walking Dead will look for Rick. World Beyond is on Hope's story and her search for her father. And I think Fear will look for Morgan when he is taken. I really like how he put it, because something I see a lot whenever I mention a crossover is Morgan isn't going to go to Alexandria. He wants to stay at the dam now with his people. Well, yeah, because the only reason a crossover would ever happen is the CRM. For them to cross paths would be them looking for someone. The Walking Dead for Rick, World Beyond for Hope's father, and Fear for Morgan. And I'm going to go ahead and just say it this early on in the video. I think Morgan will be taken by the CRM, at the end of season 6. Now, firstly, you'd think Althea would be the one taken, right? She's flying way too close to the sun, and has got closer than any other character. Well, that's just like what we saw with Jadis. She was our only link in The Walking Dead to the CRM. She was the character used for that storyline to get through to the CRM. She had those scenes. It was her that had that connection to the CRM. Just like Althea on Fear. She's the character with all that knowledge and that connection to the CRM. So just like what Jadis did with Rick, Althea could use Morgan to get to the CRM and to get to Isabel. But what I thought was more likely is Morgan gets taken, and Althea is the group's only lead to finding him. It could lead to this being them looking for Morgan, which makes sense because Michonne's just ran into them, and they've got the same objective of finding Morgan, finding Rick. It's perfect.
You don't have to. I'll show you.
And so I do think this is the Fear cast, with all the people they've recruited into the dam. And I don't want to see people saying, well, actually, George, they're miles away from where Michonne would be. Well, yeah, that's what they're doing. They're moving. Can't you see the thousands of people right now on your screen walking? They obviously didn't stay in Texas if this is them. They're all walking towards something. It's a whole new group. And I do think it is the characters at the dam and all of those that they've recruited. Not even just the dam. Of course, we've got Strand at Lawton now. We've got Sherry and her idiots. They'd all be going to get Morgan, because he's the one that united everyone and built everything back up. He is the one that beat Virginia. It took Morgan coming along and doing that, just like the characters in The Walking Dead would do for Rick. Rick's the one that brought everyone together. He's the legend of The Walking Dead, as Morgan right now is for Fear. In World Beyond, they all look up to Hope and Iris's dad. The events that happened in the first season all happened because they were looking for their dad. Something I saw a lot in the comments on my review of episode 9 was that it was almost copying what Rick did with Negan, right? It was Morgan doing the exact same thing that he did, and it's like they're regurgitating, reusing the storyline. Well, no, because a big part of what Rick did was the reason for Morgan even leaving The Walking Dead and coming to Fear. No, I mean literally. He was out as soon as he heard Rick's speech. I'm not even just saying that. Minutes after Rick had finished talking, he gave his armor to Carol to give to Henry, and legged it to Texas. I mean, it was fast as fuck, he just went. As soon as he heard that, it was because of this, he went. And that's so easy to forget, that when Rick's doing his speech, a lot of time is spent on Morgan taking it all in. More than any other character, it's looking at Morgan, his reaction to what Rick just did. He's being inspired by it. It's his choice not to just leave because of this, but to do what he did. He watched what Rick did with Negan. He then went to Fear and years later did the same thing with Virginia. And as I showed you in the beginning of this video, even the way the scene was done was really similar, with Rick having flashbacks of his time with Carl, being reminded of him and what he wanted for Negan, and Morgan thinking of John, Grace, and what he wants for the future, not stooping down to Virginia's level. This wasn't Fear copying The Walking Dead. This was Morgan being inspired by it. Morgan left with the ambition to do what Rick had just done. He has never even seen Rick with this hairstyle with the grey beard and hair, because he left. And by the time Fear has caught up with The Walking Dead, Morgan will likely be in the exact same position. Once the time jumps catch it up, it will be. If I could press a button right now and have all of the shows go to the season 9 premiere, that place in the timeline, you would find Morgan was in the exact same position, the exact same state as Rick. I mean, just look at the season 9 premiere. Rick, Michonne and a younger Judith. Just like Morgan, Grace and the baby. Since the start, Rick and Morgan have mirrored each other. At first it was like Morgan was the more unfortunate version of Rick, until Rick then lost Carl. And then in season 8 episode 14 still got to mean something. They've never been more alike. They literally mirrored each other in every single way. And even with Rick not being seen in years, and with Morgan being in a different show, they are still doing it. And right now, Morgan is at that place that Rick was at, just after sparing Negan. And after seeing what he had rebuilt after the time jump, just 5 episodes in to season 9, Rick was taken by the CRM. Which means if Morgan continues to follow Rick's story, it's not long until he's taken too. But right now, as of the date of this video, the Fear characters have just encountered the Doomsday People, a new threat, a new villain. So would it be right if Morgan was taken by the CRM at the end of Season 6, having just encountered this new group? Well, this could just be the one thing that gets him in that situation, or gives him that injury that gets him sent off, gets him traded. We know Fear has been renewed for Season 7, so would Morgan go into Season 7 and then get taken? That's not certain, but what's certain is he is mirroring Rick's story. They always have been, so tell me, why would they stop here? They pretty much started out at the exact same place at the exact same time. It holds a lot of importance that Morgan was that first person that taught Rick about the apocalypse, and since then has been mirroring his story in every way. That's so important. Morgan has done and is doing what Rick did. He's currently in that process of building up just like Rick did. And very soon, he will be at that place that we saw Rick at in the Season 9 premiere. Do you remember that point in The Walking Dead where we'd get these little weird hints that there was some helicopter group, you know, something bigger? It was with Jadis, right? Helicopters in the background, the helipads, the RV that Heath was in, 3 circles on Jadis' supplies, Rick seeing a helicopter. These scenes, these hints, were all with Jadis. The exact same thing is happening with Althea in Fear. These little references, these little hints, turn into bigger scenes, and those bigger scenes, well, it turns into what happened to Rick. We are seeing the CRM in Fear for a reason. Something is going to happen. I want it to be at the end of Season 6, but with the arrival of the Doomsday People, it could be further. So my prediction right now is that Morgan gets taken by the CRM. It could be at the end of Season 6, but I think some time jumps will have to take place, so likely after the Season 7 premiere. Likely Episode 5 of Season 7, just like it was Episode 5 of Season 9. But what do you think? Do you agree with what I've said? Do you think Morgan will be taken by the CRM? How do you think it's all gonna happen? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you press the like button. It will help me out and get this video seen by more people. If you did like it, then check out my other videos. Check out this one, where we talk about Scott Gimple actually saying we're going to see a familiar face in the Walking Dead world beyond. Watch this to see who it's going to be. And check out this one for the full story on how Daniel met Abraham from The Walking Dead. They actually met, and it's very likely they were together during the time jump before we saw Daniel again in Season 5 after the dam. It's one of my favourite stories, and it could have a massive impact on the future of Fear the Walking Dead, and it could mean the end of a big character's story. And of course, make sure you subscribe so that you're the first to see my videos. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.